Hey, good morning, guys. Sorry to take care of that spammer real fast before I came out on cam. I hope you are doing well. Happy Tuesday to everyone. I'm Wade Meteorologist. Welcome to Storm Talk, which, the title always varies. It's supposed to be snow talk all the time. Can't do that. And certainly this has not been the year, but anyway, we'll worry about that another day. This is an update, though, to the blog setup as we are tracking at least an active extended, but today things are quieting down. Thank goodness, because last night was pretty wild, right? With some of the hail that came through the area. I'm going to show you that here in just a second. Kind of going back in time, taking a look at the radar trends with that system as we roll through. And then we'll cover what's coming our way for the stormy pattern. And yes, there is a signal of, let's just say, something interesting for next week. We'll explain on that in just a second. It's been the year for interesting. So let's keep it going. As always, you guys can comment, Facebook, Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. You can comment on if you want to. If you're watching on streaming on your phone, on the app, Roku, Fire Stick, unfortunately, you're not able to see all the comments I'm referring to, so I'll try to repeat what everyone's saying. But if you watch later, it will be on Roku and Fire Stick with the comments on it when the replay comes into play, which the replay comes into play. I repeat things a lot. Sorry about that. Once it's done and loaded and back into the system in about an hour, then you'll be able to. All right, so there you go. Let's dive into where we stand on any severe look in the short term. And the good news is we do not have any severe look. Everything looks fine. Once we get into beyond this range, though, I think Friday and parts of Saturday, we will start to run into daily thunderstorms, heat of the day. So most of them will be afternoon and evening. Some can produce some severe thunderstorm warnings that can get issued with hail, damaging winds, yada, yada. They just will be very random on how they pop. So there's not much organization to them. So we may not ever see a slight risk ever even issued once we get into Friday. But I wouldn't rule out warnings at least. So just be aware of that as we get a little closer to the weekend. But the next 2 or 3 days, I think you're in fine shape with a nice cool pattern initially. But we're going to warm up faster each and every day. Thursday, in fact, will be in the low to mid 80s already at that point. But still relatively quiet. Ooh, a lot of low clouds. This is a live look at the airport. I just put a video out on Facebook showing the planes taking off into them. The ceiling's 800 feet, so you don't see the plane very long. It's always a cool plane ride, too, if you've ever been in that situation where you fly through that low stratus. And then once you get above it, it's just perfectly sunny, of course. And then it's nothing but a sea of clouds all below you, which was the fog bank at the ground level here in Louisville. So very cool. If you have a flight today, well, the next 2 to 3 hours, because this is going to go away soon. Next 2 to 3 hours, then you'll have a very cool flight. You can even see one, which I believe you can see. Oh, wait a minute. No, you can't. I thought that was the lights of a plane. It turns out it's just dust. Dust on my screen. False alarm. Sorry about that. All right, the hail that came through last night. Got to talk about that. Woke a lot of you up. Certainly kicked in around roughly 3 o'clock. Was the first round, looks like, all the way to about 3:52. Something like that was the general range. Some of you a little earlier, some a little later on the hail. Let me play for you guys, and I'm going to take this full screen. I'm going to play for you the video that Dawn G was recording on her phone. She's always awake anyway. She recorded this on her phone last night as the storms were hitting. Now, she does have these skylights, of course, but certainly some scary moments as they pass through. So just take a listen here, and I'll come back on the other side, all right?
That is going to break my sunlight. It's going to break it. Goodness. Hail just coming down. Not you can tell. It's hail. Look at the hail. Hail. It is just coming down. So, and it just sounds like it's gonna break. Don't go out, boys. It's slowing down. It just sounded, you see it? I'm gonna break my, I just feel like that's broken. goodness. Goodness. We have been hit by so many storms.
And there you go. That's what the sound of golf ball sized hail will certainly do. I had a place when I lived off of Hurstbourne Parkway that had skylights like that. It was very similar thud sound. Most of that it's more of like a fiberglass. I'm not sure of the exact material, but it's obviously designed to withstand issues like this with large hail. But whenever the hail has a thud to it, and usually only get like one bounce, and that's about it, usually it's a good sign it is rather large in size. So big thanks to Don. Everything's fine. Of course, the dogs were a little freaked out, but certainly I'm sure some scary moments. And this may be what a lot of you were facing last night when the hail came through at a pretty loud setup in the middle of the night, especially. That's when it really catches you off guard. So let me show you what the radar looked like at that point. Actually, I'm going to stay on the full screen because I want you guys to see this. You can see we're right around 2 or 3 in the morning. These cells formed right on just enough instability that was forming right across the Ohio River once again. So there wasn't really anything as far as a strong signal this was coming. They're relatively random on how they pop. They just fed on just enough fuel that was right around the Louisville area, all the way to about Harrison County, all the way into Jefferson, and eventually all the way into Shelby. Track due east across the metro and the southern part of it anyway, anywhere south of Louisville, as far as downtown. And it just zoomed right across the county there and producing hail reports just about its entirety along that path. This is what the hail core looked like as it was passing through, showing where the hail certainly was able to climb and reach that potential, producing up to golf ball size. Most of it was nickel and dimes, but it can certainly get larger. There it goes tracking. Again, this is about the same spot, especially right here where the tornadoes were touched down. With that one in particular in Lake Dreamland area, was confirmed to have touched down near that same spot. That's 3:34 in the morning. Kept going right over the airport at 3:47. At 3:47, it did trigger a special message at the airport to be sent out. You don't see that too often, but they are issued whenever hail is actually falling on the sensor. And it does trigger for pilots automatically. So that's the reason why. But it went right over the runways. And UPS was trying to take off, of course. So bad timing on that. It kind of stalled things a bit. And then it fizzled out, got a little bit of small hail in J-Town, and then kept going all the way into Shelby, but it wasn't ever as large as it was earlier on. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you guys. I thought that was interesting setup last night. Certainly alarming, but I want to explain what it was that you guys heard come through the area. All right. Karen's like, hey, I got nothing in Frankfurt. Likely faded out before it even got to you, which is good. Okay. So where are we at now? Well, the rain's done, so that's good. The idea we could take that off the list, but we got the clouds now that we were stuck with, and they are low, as you saw there from SkyTrack camera, and they will take some time to break up, as typically the case in Ohio Valley. They get a little bit of trapped moisture right into the valley areas itself. Need dry air to kind of get mixed in to try to break it up, because the front isn't entirely through the area. Most of it is. It's in southern Kentucky. We got a northwest wind, so that's a good sign. But clearing will take place today. It'll be two things will happen. One, the whole entire cloud band will be shifting south. Two, it also will be eroding as that happens. So timing of when you'll get back to blue sky will just depend on how quickly that happens. But we are expecting an improving setup later today. Here's Futurecast. It's got us in the 70s this afternoon, which will kick in. And then tonight, a cooler night, lower 50s, some upper 40s, but mainly lower 50s. And then we get into Wednesday. Not bad. Plenty of sun on your Wednesday. Temperatures in the upper 70s. Louisville's likely to hit 80 for your Wednesday. So we are already starting to warm right back up again. And then we get into Thursday. Now, quite warm on Thursday. I've got 85 now listed for us is what I'm going with, as I do think we're going to warm up nicely. We'll have a bit of dry air initially to work with to move that thermometer fast. Then it becomes more humid later in the day. Then the thermometer will slow down. But still, we'll have enough of a jump early in the day that we should have no problem getting in the mid 80s. But then we've got to watch. This is your moisture boundary that's kicking in. Yep, there we go. That's what's going to kick in the stormy pattern as it approaches from the south and west. That's not the storms themselves, but it's the sign. It's the line, if you will, that's coming our way. That will then translate to a stormy setup as we head into parts of Friday. And you can see it. Now, I've got a wider view on this view here of the model today Normally, I'm closed in a little more into the Ohio Valley and the eastern part of the country. I'm much more in a wider view. There's a reason why. And if you've been looking at the map, I think you're about to figure it out. But before we get to that, again, storms firing Friday, Saturday into Mother's Day right here in the Ohio Valley. Even the ones on Mother's Day afternoon, evening could be rather strong, depending on if we get the front to push through at that time. But that's something we'll have to take day by day, guys. Will be the storm threat for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We just got to fine tune that as we get closer. I wouldn't worry about it. Just know that if you have anything you want to have done outside in the afternoon, that's your main time you're really needing to work with there, or you're wanting to take mom to dinner or supper, as we call it, into Mother's Day afternoon, you're going to be in that risk zone for thunderstorms. So that's the only thing I can warn you about is you can plan it and may get lucky and they don't hit you at all, but you're taking a risk that part of the day. Earlier in the day will be a little easier. All right, then we get into next week. This is where we get a trough that is starting to form here into Canada. We got a very unusually large high pressure into the western side of Canada. Don't see that too often. This one's strong for May, no doubt, because it is such a strong blocking high pressure that forces all the energy that's here in eastern Canada to go one direction. Can you guess where that's going? I'm sure you can. Here we go. Dives down. Now, no, the rain snow line is not going to make it here. Just FYI, but to see snow into the eastern provinces of Canada, all the way to maybe even Montreal, that is unusual. It's happened before, but it is unusual. At the moment, I do not see it getting cold enough that this is going to be a weird event of where frost sneaks in on us. Some of the models are a little too cold right now with that idea and trying to take us down to the 30s. I'm not buying that at the moment. I think at the moment, 40s is more likely, and that is chilly enough. Okay, that's chilly enough. So I don't think you need to panic right now. I'm not panicking yet. I'm still going to do my planting the next few days. So I don't want you guys to worry on this, but it will get cooler. All right, goodbye to the 80s. This will lead to highs in the 60s instead as this dives down. It's all because, again, the blocking high in Western Canada, it's just forcing everything to dive into the lower 48 and the Great Lakes and the Ohio Valley. That'd be about Wednesday it'll arrive. Could have some rain with it too. And it may even have a severe threat on the leading edge of wherever it stops. I don't think it's going to be here yet because it may get all the way past that point of getting to where we're just in the cooler air. But if it stalls out more to the north and say we don't get into the 60s, this little dip that dives on out of Canada is more north, then that would put us in the severe threat zone later next week. So there's two different ways this could go. But right now we're going to think it's going to dive all the way down. So there you go. Any questions? Anyone? I thought I would get all these responses like, oh, no, it's coming. It's going to snow. It's not going to snow. But it's going to be cool. I think you guys are all right. You seem, maybe you're tired today. You could be tired today. I mean, you were up in the middle of the night, 3 o'clock, watching hail, right? All right, guys, just as a FYI, this is my last blog for a while. I will be on today for midday, noon, and 3, but then I'll be out. I will not be out. I will be out until the end of next week. So a little more than a week before I see you guys. So I want you guys to take care of each other, behave yourselves, and enjoy the nice weather days we're having coming our way. And I will see you all on the flip side. Take care, guys. See you soon.